The proposed DOT Hours of Service rules are scheduled to take effect on July 1, 2013. These new rules include a rest break provision, along with two separate limitations on the minimum 34-hour restart. As a professional driver, this affects you. This module will explain in detail the new Hours of Service rules and what you need to do to remain legal. The rest break rule states that once a driver starts their 14-hour clock with an on-duty function, they cannot drive beyond the 8th hour until they complete a 30-minute rest break. The rest break can be taken on line 1, line 2, or a combination of the two, and must last for at least 30 minutes before they resume driving. Here's an example of the new rest break rule. Let's say you drive for 6 hours and have reached your consignee. Then, you unload the trailer for 2 hours. This equals 8 hours on duty. 6 hours line 3 time plus 2 hours line 4 time equals 8 total hours on duty. Since 8 hours have lapsed since coming on duty, and you haven't had at least a 30-minute consecutive break on either line 1 or line 2, you cannot resume driving beyond that 8th hour until you take a 30-minute break. The new Hours of Service rule changes also include two limitations on the minimum 34-hour restart. The first provision limits the use of the 34-hour restart to one restart every 168 hours or 7 days. What this means is if you start your 34-hour reset at 1200 hours on Friday, you will not be able to do another reset until 1200 hours the following Friday. It is 168 hours from the start of the first 34-hour reset. The second limitation to the 34-hour restart states that the restart must cover at least 34 consecutive hours and include at least 2 periods between 0100 and 0500 hours. As always, your logs are based on Central Time. Therefore, the 34-hour restart must include the periods between 0100 and 0500 hours Central Time. Let's look at a few examples of the new 34-hour restart. Say you begin your 34-hour restart at 1900 Central Standard Time on Friday. 34 consecutive hours from 1900 on Friday would be 0500 Central Standard Time on Sunday. Because you were off-duty Saturday morning between 0100 and 0500 hours and Sunday morning between 0100 and 0500 hours Central Standard Time, you would be able to go back on duty after 34 consecutive hours with a full 70-hour clock. Now, let's say you begin your 34-hour restart at 1200 hours Central Standard Time on Friday. 34 consecutive hours from 1200 hours Friday would be 2200 Central Standard Time Saturday. Because you were only off-duty Saturday morning between 0100 and 0500 hours, you will not have a full 70-hour clock at 2200 Saturday. You need to include one more time period between 0100 and 0500 hours. In this example, you would not reach a restart until 0500 hours Sunday morning, which is 40 hours since you began your restart. Remember, the 2 periods between 0100 and 0500 hours must be in Central Standard Time. For example, if you start your 34-hour reset at 0100 hours Pacific Time on Saturday morning, this would actually be 0300 hours Central Time. If you are not taking into account the Central Time Zone, you may think your reset is up at 1100 hours Sunday morning. However, this would not be the case. Because your 34-hour reset must include 2 time periods between 0100 and 0500 hours Central Standard Time, your 70-hour clock would not reset until 0500 hours Central Time on Monday morning. If you have any questions on the new Hours of Service rule changes that will take effect on July 1st, 2013, please contact the Log Department or your fleet manager.